Okay, so we are here today for our legislation meeting, and one of the
Coldest meeting
items,
we've had yet.
it's obviously one of the items on the agenda, and it was actually the second item on the agenda. And the first item was a webinar that I had participated in for NYSSBA, and it was all about the update on policies, budget, and the 2016 legislative session. But the ironic thing is that one of the points of it was moving polling places out of schools.
Really?
So we're not the only ones that have this issue. Other places do too.
Where
So
would they
it's
move it to?
to another public building. Because it's a public building, so there's like certain rules,
Mhm.
and that's why I took like an excerpt from the webinar and I put it in the letter.
Okay.
Because like one of their priorities, their legislative priorities is school safety. And one is mass violent threats, and another one is polling places. Authorize school districts to have a say in whether a school building can be used as a polling place for any election. So basically what we're saying is that we're not having them move out of our public buildings.
Mhm.
We just want them to go into buildings that are uninhabited by children.
What other types of public buildings do they say? I'm just curious. I'm
No,
trying-
it's basically they're saying like
Yeah.
the school can have local control. Like the
Right.
way we'll have control, we're not telling them that they can't come to our school district. We're just asking
No,
them
no,
to go into the other buildings.
I agree 100%. I'm trying to
He's
think
asking if there's something other than a school building.
Yeah, like I'm
Like
trying
you
to think
said, public.
logistically what they would move. Not that it's my concern. I agree, it shouldn't be here. But I'm trying to think where they would move it to.
A library maybe?
Well, libraries don't really have security. I'm trying to think if there's a public building even that we could recommend where they have security, like I'm thinking like a courthouse. I know it's not gonna be a courthouse, but there are other public buildings where at least there's a security
Like
guy.
Town hall or.
Right, like town hall is perfect. When you go into town hall,
There's
there's that security desk, and I know there's, people around.
Yeah, but even when I go to vote, like there really isn't security. Like I go to Rolling Hills to vote.
Mhm.
There isn't security.
No,
There's
I
just
agree.
like the two like old men that are, no offense to anybody, but that are like,
I am now over 40, so.
oh wow.
You qualify as
You're
old.
the over the
Qualified
hill
to the
gang.
Americans.
But I'm saying, what are they gonna do if something happens?
I agree.
So there really isn't security there per se.
Right.
Point for our district though is that we have a couple of buildings where we don't have our own children in them,
Right.
Yep.
We have this
like
building,
here.
and we have Chestnut Hill, and we have Forest Park.
I mean, there are kids, at least in one of those buildings. They may not be our district, but there are kids there.
That's true.
Forest Park certainly is open now, and this building is certainly open now. So we have options, even if other school districts don't.
Right. And that's the good thing for us, is that we do have options.
Okay,
So I kind of I put that in the letter,
okay.
so you could
So
kind
who's
of.
the letter actually
Yeah, I was
going
gonna
to?
say-
So the
who's-
letter because I went by, because Mrs. Fallon had wrote letters, several letters to Mrs. Anita Katz, who's the commissioner, and Mr. Wayne Rogers, who's also the commissioner of the Board of Elections.
Okay,
So I
Board of
just took
Elections.
the letters and I just wrote it to them, because that's what their letter, so they wrote a letter in November 17th of 2014. They wrote a letter on, actually, sorry, they're not in order, April 22nd, 2014, September 17th, May 5th, 2015.
So we've been writing to them for,
Since 2014, we've been writing to have them remove remove
Yeah.
the polling places out of student buildings.
I read the letter just, when you handed it to me and scanning it, and I think content-wise, I think it's great. The only thing I wonder, and it seems to be a discussion I've had several times with people on the board, is do you think we need to, right out front, go with something, I don't want to say less polite, what was the word we were using when we were talking about that other letter?
come out and say what we want right away.
Yeah, but there was a word that we all.
Confrontational.
Confrontational, I think that was it.
No,
So-
it meant that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. So do you think we should say something like, we've written to you on this date, and this date,
Well,
and this.
we've never, the
Okay, I'm
school
sorry.
district has.
The school district wrote to
Right,
you.
and that's what I wrote in.
Nothing, you're right. And nothing has changed, and we do not want,
Well, we are demanding.
we are demanding this to be fixed now, because if there is an incident of violence caused by using the schools, it's on your hand, you know, your, whatever, it's hands.
Right.
Like, do you think we need to like, make it clear that,
We're holding them responsible.
yes,
Cause in the letter, cause you know,
yeah,
you know, it's like, it's almost like being like passive aggressive.
I know,
Because then at the end, I said that we're prepared to
Right.
do an electronic letter writing
Mhm.
campaign where we'll inundate them, like I didn't really say that, but I implied that they'll be inundated with letters from the community. We'll
Mhm.
do a hashtag, so we'll inundate them on Twitter.
yeah, I just wonder if putting it up front instead of in the back might be most effective. It's even a debate I've had in music.
Right.
Do you play your best song first, or do you wait till the end?
Mm-hmm.
So I see both sides. I mean, content-wise, yeah, absolutely, I think it's great that you do this, and I agree with it. I just don't know, conceptually, I guess is what I'm saying, do we come out and first paragraph and just, like you said,
We demand.
we demand it, the kid's safety, I don't know, I'm sure it's in here and you said it better than I could say it, but what do you think?
Is there anything, I mean, have we looked behind the rhyme and the reason for them either not responding or
Well,
we're
they've
not
been
doing anything?
responding, they just have,
And
here's their
what is their
responses.
response?
Their
Do they have a
response
reason not
is-
to move it to a school where there's no kids?
let's see
Or
what
not
it
to
is.
allow us to move it?
And we have those buildings insured, so it's not like,
I think that they said that they were
They're under
afraid
the
that people
impression-
weren't gonna go vote, and that it's not what the
Right.
community wants.
They're under the impression the community doesn't wanna move it.
And that's why I wrote in there that we're elected officials, we were elected by the community,
Right.
and the community has spoken to us, and now
I agree, yeah.
we are, you know,
Passing
going to
that
action.
information along.
Right, and that's why we're prepared to do,
I thought
Other
I've
things.
heard that's what their rhyme and reason was, that our
'Cause you go to
community
the
doesn't
same
want it
place.
changed.
right, cause,
It's ridiculous.
let's see their answer.
Yeah, our community wants people coming into the building.
Talking about putting it in schools all within the district. It can't be any more than 3 minutes extra if your polling place has changed
Mhm.
from where you were going to where you might be going.
I mean, this letter that's dated May 7th of 2015 just says, Dear Mrs. Fallon, please be advised that the Suffolk County Board of Elections has determined that it cannot accommodate your request that alternate sites be designated in place of the designated public school sites, and request that you executed and return the polling place contract for 2015-16 within 14 days of this letter. So I don't know if we have some kind of contract.
How does that work?
I don't know, there must be a, I don't know that we have a
Well,
choice,
there's
but
New
there must
York
be a
State
written.
That's what I mean,
education law.
Under
It
the
says a
education
building,
law.
yeah, well, it's election law, not the
Yeah.
election law. It just says a building exempt from taxation shall be used whenever possible as a polling place if it is situated in the same or contiguous election district and may contain as many distinctly separate polling places as public convenience may require. If a board or body empowered to designate polling places choose a public school building for such purpose, the board or agency which controls such building must make available a room or rooms in such building where are suitable for registration and voting and which are close as possible to the convenient entrance to such building, and make available any such room or rooms which the board or body designate such building determines are accessible to the physically disabled voters as provided in subdivision 1.
So it means we locally control where within our building,
Right, but not what building.
but not what building.
I mean, I've never looked at that statute or seen if there's any way to challenge what they select, but, and I'm not looking for litigation, but maybe we look into whether their denial, and I know you've gotta reach certain levels before you can even bring Article 78, but is it something
We can fight.
yeah,
Maybe their decision isn't a valid decision, or maybe they don't. It sounds like from the election law, they're entitled to make the choice of a building.
right, but they
We
were
have to look
saying, they
back.
used very vague language in there that was,
But see, now NYSSBA is also getting behind it.
Right.
And they're gonna be getting a lot of school boards, but what NYSSBA's saying is that the school board should let the school boards make the decisions.
The Board of
Right.
Elections should let the school board make a
Yes.
decision
Right,
as to what
so,
building
so
to use.
if there, I think, do we ask, what are the reasons that you are requiring us to use this open school, the school during the school day,
With kids.
right? Instead of a building that couldn't have more space available right now.
Right.
How's that?
That's right. Right. Has no children and is essentially empty.
Right.
And parking.
I mean, it all,
Well, that's
what's
why.
our time frame on this?
There's no time for it, I think.
Well, when's
Well, we
the,
have, the next election is, well, it's in June, but it's not feasible to change the polling sites for June. But
I
now,
think we're closed
for the presidential election.
Right, so really, this
But it's
is,
isn't it like what's happening in September, there's things
Yeah.
that will happen in September.
there's certain primary things,
Yeah.
there's certain things that happen in,
In September.
and even if it was for the following year, it's gonna take a while anyway for anyone to do anything.
well, they actually deliver everything that we require.
Right, so why can't they just?
In
do a
other words,
different
what I'm
building?
asking is, what would be the difference if we told them to deliver to location B instead of location A? Why couldn't this be changed tomorrow?
I guess
asked
that contract's not, like, I guess we need to see whatever that contract is
Yeah,
and the statute.
They have to have a way to let the voters know where to go.
well, but
That's why.
in theory, we have 9 months to do that.
So the last letter that went to.
And they switched something. Bless you.
Bless you.
I don't, like, I don't wanna get this wrong, but I know at some election, I went to where I had been going, and it had been switched, and I didn't know about it. Now, did I get something in the mail? It's possible, but, it's not like they've never switched things.
There was a,
Cause I go to Elwood, I don't even go to any of these schools.
there was a fire at, we used to do it at, I don't know what they called it, Sweet Hollow,
Okay.
something or other. It was like an old sort of town building, I guess, that nothing was being done in. There was a fire there, so we were moved to a local church.
Mhm.
At some point, they had to notify everybody. I
Right.
think it just comes in your card.
Right, so if I didn't see the card or whatever, I went to the school, and then they said, it's not here, I had to find the other place.
The
What-
truth is,
what in the end of the
we
Because they tell you
have
what your
better
polling place-
access. If there was gonna be a change within the district from one building to another, as a district, we have access to all of our people to make sure that that notification goes out with whatever lead time it needs or whatever
Well,
notification it
here's
needs.
the letter, the last letter was on
Better than
September
the Board of Elections
17th.
would.
Right, and so on September 17th, Mrs. Fallon wrote a letter and she wrote, "The Half Hollow Hills Central School District has been in contact with your office numerous times regarding the relocation of polling places. Our district personnel has invested an enormous amount of time and effort to try and address a situation that has been brought to the district's attention by our residents concerned about the use of our schools by the Board of Elections for polling places. While we understand and appreciate that we are not unique in this situation, we are unique in the fact that we have presented the Board of Elections with accommodations that are equal to and better than the present buildings used. The offered buildings have more than ample parking spaces and are centrally located and are student-free. After multiple communications and a personal visit to your office, we were disappointed that the only accommodation the Board of Elections could make was for High School East being moved to the Fran Greenspan Administration Center. We don't see that as an adequate solution, and again, the Board of Elections fails to see the benefit and positive results of all our constituents." So that's why, like, when I wrote,
That's the letter we
Mhm.
wrote?
that's the letter that Mrs. Fallon wrote, and she CC'd, it also went to Steve Ballone
Mhm.
as the county
And
executive.
did they respond?
There was no response.
No response.
No. So that's why
Yeah, I get
the,
it.
We could and maybe should attach the letter again.
Mhm.
It's well-written, well-said, and speaks of what the community wants.
Right, and so that's why in the
Mhm.
opening I wrote, the Half Hollow Hills Central School District is proud to be to make our facilities available to the Suffolk County Board of Elections as a polling site for all elections. However, in light of the countless correspondence the school district as well as the school board has received from the community in regards to the safety and well-being of our students during said occasions, we are imploring you to relocate the current election sites within our district. It is also our understanding that our superintendent, Mrs. Kelly Fallon, has been unsuccessful in her efforts to bring about this change, so we are writing to you in order to express our concern. Because now it's like,
It's coming from us.
now it's coming from us
Mhm.
as a school board. Currently, the Board of Elections utilizes buildings that are inhabited by students. Palmanac Elementary School, Candlewood Middle School, West Hollow Middle School, and High School East School, that was changed. as polling sites on election days. We would greatly appreciate your consideration to no longer use these schools on election days, but rather utilize the 2 elementary schools within the Half Hollow Hills School District that are no longer being used for public education purposes, Chestnut Hill and Forest Park, and the Fran Greenspan Administration Center. We are quite aware of the state of affairs in our world today. Schools are supposed to be a safe haven for students, a place where they are free to grow and learn, but in times today, schools are compromised. Safety is of our utmost concern, especially when it comes to our children. During election days, our schools are in session. This, as you can imagine, makes keeping our children safe extremely difficult. Throughout the school day, the children are walking the hallways of our schools, going from classroom to classroom as they are engaged in the learning process. As elections are taking place, those wishing to vote are entering and exiting the school buildings throughout the day, making it almost impossible to monitor who comes in and goes out of our building. We have strict protocol on who enters our schools. However, on election days, all those precautions we have set forth no longer pertain to those who enter our safe haven. This is extremely concerning to our school board, administrators, teachers, staff, parents, and of course our students. Under the local election law, public schools are designated as polling locations and must make space. Schools are different than all other public buildings because what they were, maybe I'm not explaining it right, but as what it basically said in the webinar, I probably just didn't write it right, is that you can file an appeal. Schools really can't appeal it, but we should be able to file an appeal.
Okay, so if it was the library or something, they can appeal, but schools can't.
But schools can't, so that's why I'm writing, this written request
Can
can
I
be.
ask you a question?
Yes,
Why did they change high school east to the?
Fran Greenspan.
Like,
what was their reason
Yeah.
for doing that, I don't know.
so we're just.
So that was changed.
Right.
That was
Officially.
right, that was changed.
When?
That was according to
That'd
that
be in
letter.
between these 2 letters, huh?
So they gave no rhyme and reason why they were willing to make one change, but
But not
not
the
other
other.
changes.
Correct, which seems arbitrary.
Because they're right
and
next
capricious.
door.
Yeah, without any kind of justification
So that's why I wrote,
I think we need to know
or answer.
the reason.
Why did they change, or why did they allow the change? Or why would they not allow the other change? So we already have to give notice, something has changed. So if you're gonna change it together. So
Right.
there's no confusion within the district. I heard, oh, your polling place has changed, has mine.
Mhm.
If you're gonna change them together.
Correct.
right.
Okay.
So basically what the webinar was saying was that, that all public school buildings should be treated equitable just as any other public building. So the New York State School Board Association has drafted legislation to this effect. Schools should not have to give up a day of instruction so schools can be used as polling places all year. And our community has spoken, and we as elected officials must listen. We wish to provide our children and community with safe learning environments. We no longer feel this is possible when the Board of Election uses schools that are in session for voting purposes. We ask you kindly to let the school board and school district retain local control and relocate the polling sites to the 3 locations mentioned above within the Half Hollow Hills School District that do not inhabit students. We are prepared to set up electronic petitions that our community will gladly sign, as well as Twitter hashtags that will communicate our concerns. We hope that you feel the same way as we do, where the safety of our students is everyone's top priority. We look forward to your prompt response.
I like the letter, I think there's a couple.
There's some
Yeah,
typos.
but,
Yes.
you know, I
That's
think
fine.
the only thing I would consider doing, I don't know if I'm overthinking it, is talking to Jack, just about the next step.
Yeah.
If we don't get an answer.
Hey,
And-
I'm so sorry.
Hey,
That's
how are
okay.
you?
Okay,
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And what are,
We're just reviewing, I guess, a proposed letter to Board of Elections
Oh, okay.
in
Is this
terms
a
of
copy?
moving the polling place.
yeah.
so we were saying that.
There's a typo in there.
Good timing by you, because I think the question is there some kind of an agreement between the school district and the Board of Elections where we have to sign off? I mean, we know that we don't have a choice in terms of them using our school district's buildings.
Yeah.
Is there some kind of a written agreement between us? that
We
have to
we
sign
get a
off on?
letter from them indicating this is the date, these are the polling places, and if we choose not to do anything with it,
That's
They
just
still
what it
show
is.
up.
Right.
So is there something that we say, okay, we allow you to? No.
Do we acknowledge that we received the letter?
We
Is there some-
communicate with them on a regular basis. I don't know that there's actually a signed spot
Okay.
on the bottom of that
So it's not
letter.
like a contract where we get anything,
They reimburse us for, it's some flat rate that the Suffolk County Board of Elections
That's been
reimburses us.
determined.
Right, so we'll tell them, we just have to like fill out a chit sheet essentially, and then they pay us.
okay.
And what
Yeah, that's all
about,
initiated by them.
there was a
as part of the
change
protocol.
as far as we can tell from
Yeah,
the
they changed from
correspondence.
high school east to this building.
That's what they had proposed after we had gone out to them during the summer and said, please go to these 3 locations,
Right.
here, Chestnut, and Forest. And then they came back and said it was too much of a burden on the residents wouldn't want it. And we said, well, these are the same residents that we're fighting for, who say they don't want you in the buildings that we have
Yes.
students. So their solution was, okay, we'll just change high school east to here, which we responded and said, thank you, but no thank you, that's not what we're looking to do, we want to change all 3.
If,
Or
yeah, and if
change
they're
it
saying
before.
they would change one, they're acknowledging that what
That
we're
it can
saying
be
is
done.
valid, and that it can be done.
I would imagine.
Okay, and,
So have we formally rejected or denied the request to make that one change?
Yes. Yeah, we had responded saying, thank you, but it's
So that
not,
would've
not at
been-
all what we discussed.
that would have been after,
After their
September.
letter, and I don't have their letters, actually, do I have their letters here?
I have one.
So we did a letter back to them after that stating, that's great, but that's not enough.
September 17th, we sent a letter back.
That's
Right.
that letter.
okay, I get it.
Saying thanks, but no thanks.
Okay,
It's
and
not
have we heard
solid-
anything from them?
Nothing, no.
Do we know what our next steps or request, we were thinking, we have this proposed letter, we were talking about the language and, should it start off with "we demand"? At this point, they've given us no real justification other than our community doesn't want it. We're
Mhm.
telling you our community
Does.
does want it.
Right.
The administration has told you that, we're the elected officials, we're telling you that. What else do you need?
Right.
And if you're willing to change from east to here, why not change them all at the same time so we can notify people
Mhm.
consistently?
Mhm.
And we're certainly in a better position to notify our own residents
Right,
than they are.
right.
I don't know what they do other than
And
send
I-
out cards every 10 years.
Mhm. And I don't know what their, I think that their stance is very political. I don't think that it's based on them having gone out to speak to residents. I think they've
What
said
would
to
be-
us that people would not know, they'd go to the wrong facility, they wouldn't know. And we
can
said, we can
certainly
assist you
guarantee,
in
yeah.
making sure people know where to go.
So I think what I think would be the next thing is to ask Eric for permission to call Jack and ask his opinion on what would be the next step, if there is a legal step that we can take, and then incorporate that into this really good letter, and then,
Yeah, our conclusion could be not only are we prepared to do this letter campaign or whatever else, but
but
we're,
then insert whatever he says.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
we're prepared to take whatever legal steps we
Yeah.
would advise would be the next steps to take.
I mean, I have some thoughts on it, but it's really, I'd rather, so I don't know if you wanna be in on it, maybe we can call them together, I'm not excluding you from the
Yeah,
process,
so-
but I don't think anyone finds that stuff interesting other than, me. Would you wanna do it together? You want me to- Okay, so, why don't we email, or call Eric, ask Eric if we can call Jack, and then hopefully, it's not really much change and we can,
Yeah, it's probably a
Communicate
sentence
for
of
them.
what our next legal step would be. We could certainly tell them that that's our, if we don't have a response within, 10 days or 20 days, whatever you think is a reasonable amount of time. How long do they usually take to respond? Not that they can make changes, but how long do they respond?
They're
4 months?
It depends on what it is. They came out to our sites pretty quickly,
Oh, so the,
but it depends on who's responding. So the
Right.
lay people come out pretty quickly. They come, they evaluate the site, we went, took them on tours, and
right.
that did nothing.
But it took them 4 months because they came out to sites, they actually looked at stuff.
We met with them.
Right.
Mhm.
If we're
It was the summer,
actually-
so maybe that had something to do with it, that who was on vacation.
Okay. I'm just thinking if we threaten some type of legal action, it's gonna push it up to a different person. Their legal counsel's gonna have to look at it to say, and advise their board, is this their next step? And if they were to pursue this, would they be successful, and is it worth fighting it? So I think it would generate a response from.
I agree. So,
Because the other thing is that I participated in a webinar through NYSSBA, and one of the ironic points at the end was about legislative priorities, and one of the priorities is changing polling places.
Mhm.
So it's not just us,
Yeah.
it's.
No, not at all.
So let's say, for example, Suffolk, they're going to be inundated now by school boards that are going to be involved in this process, because what I also learned was that school buildings, public buildings, but public buildings are allowed to file for, what are they allowed to do? They're allowed to ask for, you can file for for an appeal. So if, let's say a person doesn't, you don't want your public building to be used, you can file for an appeal, but a school can't do that.
we have no right to appeal.
So now, but now that they're saying that schools should be, it should be, equitable, and that schools should be able to file appeal as well.
So if Jack says there really is no legal teeth that we can
Right.
assert here, then our recourse is to go right to the legislators and basically send the same letters and say, we need your help
To change the
to
legislation.
change this so we can get this done.
Right, because it's not like we're giving them options, we're giving them good options, great options.
So I just need,
Yeah,
I just
which
need
may
these
or may not
letters
be
so
what
I can
other
look at this
districts are
law.
doing.
Right, other
They,
districts
but
may
they,
not
they
have
may
that
not have
option.
options,
But we
and,
do.
and we do wanna try to get to to get this letter out quickly so that we're maybe at the forefront and not on a long list of school districts that
Sure.
they have to respond to, because they're gonna get these letters.
And I would imagine if there is a legal leg to stand on, that every school district could assert a similar challenge. Maybe,
Bring it to firehouses, bring it to libraries.
maybe they wanna keep the one noisy one quiet.
Well, so that's what we have to be first, because I participated in this webinar in December.
Okay.
It's recent, it's a hot topic.
Alright, so then
Yes.
I'm gonna wanna grab copies of this and at some point, I'll do my own research on this election law.
Okay.
I'm sure you want copies too, and then we'll try and set up a call with Jack. And we'll discuss it, hopefully we can get some draft, not draft, this is the, but, if there has any changes just by Monday.
We're gonna have to fix it anyway, I mean,
All right.
there was some
Okay.
typos and.
That's fine.
Now, we've been looking at for November, because it's a general election, moving, closing school, so doing something different. But we believe, as a district, that having a superintendent's conference day at the beginning of the school year to train the staff, to get the staff professionally developed, is the right thing to do. So one of their responses was, we'll just move your conference day till November. That just makes it seem like the conference day is a wasted day. For us, it's not.
We use it.
We use it appropriately, so
Right.
for now, the Board of Elections to dictate how and when we train our staff is counterintuitive.
It's
But
But for
also
November,
overreaching for them to
Yep.
tell us, we're not
Mhm.
telling them what to do.
yeah,
Okay.
but for the one coming up, we would clearly adjust the calendar so
But
that we
it's
don't.
not even that, it's also, there's primaries,
Sure.
there's things that voting that takes
September.
place in June
Oh.
and September.
Oh, absolutely, which we
Or,
wouldn't
you know,
want to adjust, but for the big ones, we've said, we get it,
I don't wanna-
because the
I don't
volume
want
would
to
be
steal Steph's
significant.
copies, would you be able to
Yeah,
email
we
me
can-
just the correspondence?
Sure, I can, do you want it emailed, or I can grab a copy before we're done? It's up
That's
to you.
easier.
Which ones do you have?
We
The
have,
ones that, these are, I have all the ones, these are the ones that Catherine already.
Great. I just don't have that file.
We talked just briefly about what do we do, or what do we need to do to prepare, if anything, to receive whatever they do in preparation for an election. In other words, do they simply drop off stuff?
They do, they drop off, we have to coordinate a time that they drop it off to us, we have to have our
But other
principals.
than telling their driver
Mhm.
where to go,
Oh,
we have no other preparation.
they
In other
have
words,
to go to the back of the building
If they- in
here
other
versus
words-
the front of the building
It's like the
there.
blood drive.
If this decision were to be changed or changeable from one building to another building, it's simply a phone call to say, tell your driver to go there instead of
I
here.
would
We don't do anything else. And they don't do anything else.
We do the prep, we section off areas, we coordinate with the principals, we have security guards, we have
Right.
custodian. Yeah, no, the work is not on their
If
side,
that
it's just a
decision
different,
was done
it's
in
updating a form.
January or February for either a June, a September, or November election, we could do it in a day. It's just basically planning where to put stuff, how to barricade a building, which you don't need, there's a lot less prep if there's no kids in the
Absolutely.
building.
Oh, significant.
So what would happen
Significant.
with Chestnut Hill?
We would clear out, gymnasium, auditorium, wherever it made the most sense for us.
Is
And
there
then
still
you go
half
with the
that
back.
building that's not utilized?
Yeah.
So
We have it
plenty
as
of
storage,
space.
we have the space, we'd have to, move some things around because
Right.
we have some storage there, but
Nothing
much
that can't be
easier
done.
than having to
Moving
worry
kids.
about the conversations with parents and the security in the buildings. It's a different issue.
Right, but
That's
our
right.
easiest one is Forest Park or here.
Oh, absolutely, and Chestnut Hill, absolutely. Yeah, Chestnut Hill is equally easy.
Right, but I just feel like at least there's some kids there, so I'm saying,
Yeah.
I almost put a third on the list.
Yeah,
Uh,
but is it not enough locations to just use, let's say, here and Forest Park?
They would argue that it isn't.
You need more.
They would argue
Alright.
that,
Yeah,
and that's
so
why
we
we've
have
said,
to
okay,
check it
do
out.
those three and
Got
then
it.
keep West Hollow, because West Hollow was a little bit off the beaten path. So we said, we'll give you that. If you wanted to keep that, if 3 was not sufficient, you needed the one-for-one swap.
It
But
doesn't really seem to
it
be
didn't-
a need, but it didn't
yeah,
get that far, they're
didn't
only
get
going
that
to do
far.
one.
Yeah.
All right, so,
But what we want is, we don't want them in West Hollow either.
We don't,
want them in-
ultimately, we
Yeah.
don't, no, for
okay.
the same reasons.
Cool, so
I'll
Tuesday,
scan
is it
these,
Tuesday?
I'll get these to each of you so you have them all electronically.
Tuesday?
These
Yeah.
All right, we'll see, Steph, will you ask Eric if it's okay for
Yes.
either or both of us to talk to Jack
Yes.
about
Cool.
that?
And what
Okay.
I'll do is I'll fix this and then I'll email it to you,
Great.
fix the typos and everything, and then I'll email
Okay.
it to you.
I like it.
And obviously, of course, you will pick that way
Yeah, sure.
as well.
Sounds good.
What's the other thing here?
Okay, so the other thing was, just to briefly let you know about the webinar that I participated in, just about political changes, that Flanagan now is the majority leader. Like, some of this stuff happened last year, but like they're saying that it's the new cycle of, being all together. Like,
Right.
it's the first full session of the new legislative leaders, new education staff for the governor, new commissioner of education, new Senate Education Committee chair. So there's a lot of interesting events that are gonna happen. They're saying that the legislative balance of power, like on the Senate side, there's a tight majority where every vote counts. And where on the other side of the assembly, there's like a supermajority. There's gonna be like a lot of in-conference negotiation and less external. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But one thing that NYSSBA is recommending for budgets is that they want state aid to be increased by $2.3 billion. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it depends on what we get of that. I'd be happy to get it all, but, and the GEA as well,
And the
which has been a
GEA, right.
takeaway, which is, we're done, like enough already. Just
Right.
give that back to districts.
Right, and that's what they were saying, that.
And I think that will happen this year.
Right,
Really?
that's what
I
NYSSBA,
think
yes,
so.
NYSSBA
It's
said that.
been
They're fighting.
We've
years.
been talking
It's
about
been
that.
years.
Retroactively,
No.
or just, it's gone? I
No.
know that.
Yeah,
Excuse me, I assumed it, but I wanted to confirm.
no,
Just
just
going forward.
what we,
Just eliminate.
yeah, just stop it. Just stop taking that away. I don't think we'll ever be made whole on foundation aid or GEA, but just stop it as a
They just stop
takeaway.
doing it.
Yeah, it'll be better than nothing.
Yes,
Yeah.
Great.
so that'd be a good thing.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I'm hearing that as well, it being, elections and all, I'm hearing that it could be a good state aid year, which would be great.
mhm. And that NYSSBA is opposing tuition tax credit, they're opposing any use of public funds for tax credits, vouchers supporting non-public schools.
Mhm.
They're opposing the expansion of mayoral control outside of New York City. They're opposing the expansion of charter schools without local support. So, things that we've learned about. Interesting, very interesting. And then one of their top priorities, like I said, was massive school threats. What they're doing is, because there are certain threats that are not taken as seriously. I guess a bomb threat is a D-class felony, but a gun threat is not. But now they want to make them all, equal, that they'll all become D felonies. Because
Well,
then,
we handle, if there's a threat of some kind, I think we're gonna be on top of that, whatever they're
Yes.
classifying it as a felony. I don't think we care as a district,
No.
we're gonna react.
yes, for sure.
Okay.
But it's just good to see that, we're up and
Right.
running, good stuff.
Mhm.
Got a presidential election this year, so
Yeah.
guns are a hot topic.
Right.
Yes, and then just one final, topic was the letter we were gonna send
Healthy,
to,
hungry.
for the Healthy Hungry Kids Act. Now, the thing is, I also was doing some further research, and, Lucy Gettman. She's the Deputy Associate Executive Director for the National School Board Administration. She's on top of like federal issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that she was involved somehow in it, so I figured, let's do this letter first and, you know, work on both, you know, kind of like get this on the ball, be done with that, and then focus on the Healthy Hungry Kids Act.
Yeah, let's concentrate on the election one. It's actually got a time-sensitive type
Yes.
issue. I don't see
Well,
the
at the end of-
reason they can't just make a change.
Yeah,
If they get, hopefully there's some teeth we can put into that letter, which forces them to at least respond to us.
Right.
I think they'll have to pass it up their own chain to get some type of legal response if there is something that Jack can help us, you know, with the recommendation. Sounds good?
So hopefully we'll have the letter ready for Monday.
sounds
Good
good.
work.
Okay, cool.
That'd be great.
Yes, it will be.
Thanks.
You all set?
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Sorry about the mix-up. I was at some bus stops and
No problem.
checking routes and
No,
it's like, we got a meeting.
Mm.
So
timing was
I'm sorry
perfect.
about that. Great.
We had that question